Residents in WA's Midwest are continuing to count the cost of Cyclone Seroja, which destroyed at least 7 homes and damaged more than 270. Hundreds of emergency services personnel and volunteers, as well as army troops, have been sent in to clean up or help with the cleanup. Richard Burgess lives in Kalbarri, one of the hardest hit areas, and he joins us now. Richard, g'day. First of all, this is the first time we've been able to talk to you face to face since the cyclone, and I wanted to say thanks for sending those first pictures through the morning after. That was the first time the rest of Australia got a sense of just how bad it was there. So thanks very much for sending those through. And how are you holding up now?
No worries, Joe. It's a bit of a shock still. I think everybody's got some post-traumatic stress, and it's just starting to really come out. Everyone's really tired, and there's just a feeling of it's indescribable, really. The feeling that it's just what's going on.
Yeah, and describe for us where you're standing there. Are you kind of on the outskirts of town? Are they trees that have been stripped of their leaves through the cyclone?
I'm down on my family farm. In front of me is my palm nursery, which has just been flattened. Again, behind me is, well, what's left of my potting sheds.
Oh, yeah.
And all my stuff really. It's blowing over in there. I did light a fire through there, so those trees were already burned.
Right.
Well, it looks like a cyclone's gone through here.
Yeah, and can you show us turn around and show us what's happened to your palm nursery as well? Oh, it's right into the sun, so it's a bit awkward.
The sun's right in it there, yeah.
But
I'll walk down a bit this way.
Yeah, but the nursery's basically blown apart.
It's totally flattened. It's there's not much left of it at all. The plants are still under there, and we're trying to make a start today of just trying to get the roof off and get some of the plants out.
Yeah.
But it's such a big job.
And is this just kind of on the outskirts of town?
Yeah, our farm is 20 k's south of town. It's just on the coast.
Yeah. And is that where you were? Were you at the farm when it hit or back in town?
I was at my parents' house in town.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I was, because it was pretty devastating. We lost a quarter of the roof, and the whole front of the house is sort of smashed up pretty bad.
Yeah, and so describe for us what's there for people who are unfamiliar with nurseries. What was the setup there and what's happened behind you?
Well, I had it was basically a big shade house. It was a wire span shade house, so really it's just poles and wire and shade cloth, and everything's ripped apart. It's just poles down. I've managed to take some of the roof off and expose some of the parts, and hopefully we can hand water them. But there's still a big job. I've got 2 shade houses here, 50,000 plants.
And that's your primary source of income?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so do most of the actual plants appears to have survived?
They appear to have survived, but I've got to protect them from the elements and get water to them. And to do that, I've got to get the roof off. And then the retic poles are all smashed, and I might have to try and hand water and get as many plants. I'm going to try and salvage one, put walls around one area and get as many plants as I can into that, and see if we can get some water on it in the next few days.
Yeah, it's a lot of hand watering over the next couple of weeks for you there. And Richard, just take us back to Sunday night. You said you're at your parents' place. Describe for us what it was like being in there, and like when the wind started picking up and when you realised a bit of the roof was going to go. Well,
we were having dinner, and it was pretty windy, but it was sitting on about 90 kilometres an hour, and it was bad, but it was doable. We went upstairs. I think my mum went up there, and she said, because it's a 2-storey house, we were all hunkered downstairs. We went upstairs to have a look and check on things, and the windows were really bowing in. There was rain coming in through the sides of them. We put some towels and things in front of the windows, and I said, "Oh, let's get out of here." And then we went into the next room, and then an almighty explosion happened, and a neighbour's roof had came off. It took me a day or two to work this out. I didn't know what had happened, but there was a really loud explosion, and a whole roof just ripped off the corner of my parents' house. We were in the next room. Luckily, we weren't in the office still where we were 30 seconds before, because that's just exploded.
And then how long did it last for? Were you kind of sheltering in one room of the house for half an hour or something?
We made it after that. After the explosion, my wife ran down the stairs, and then I was trying to get my mum. She had a moon boot on. She's got an injured foot. And I was trying to get her down, and she was just in a daze looking at her lounge room just disintegrating around us.
Jeez.
In that time, the ceiling dropped into the stairwell. And my wife was downstairs. She looked up, saw that happen, and she thought we were under the ceiling. And it was a real mess. But luckily, my mum did dawdle a little bit because it took us a couple of seconds to get there. Then we got to the stairwell and there's a ceiling in the way. And she looked at it and I was going, "Oh, Mum, get out of the way. I'll try and break through it for you." And she just hunkered down and went bulldog and just smashed it with her shoulder and climbed over.
So she impressed you with her determination that particular moment?
Yes, she sure did. I didn't even really remember it till yesterday. I was recounting the story and I remembered that bit. I don't think she remembers that at all.
Yeah. And then did you think at any stage through that night that you were going to get seriously injured or maybe not even make it?
Well, we were so lucky that we weren't in that room that exploded. Yeah. And then when we were putting towels in front of a window and that exploded in our faces. And yes, we were really lucky. Once I got back downstairs, I thought we would be reasonably safe. It was a brick 2-story. And even if the top story went, I thought the bottom half would be fine because there was a lot of trees around our house to try and semi-protect it, and it was brick down there. Once we were down there, we thought it sort of all right. My daughter was hysterical. My mum was kind of, in a state of shock, and my wife was quite worried. And my dad seemed like, oh, well, things happen.
Yeah. And you were saying that people are still in a bit of a daze and state of shock now, and just trying to get their head around how much damage has been done.
Yeah, look, we've got most of the stuff off the roads. It's all piled up on the verges. It looks like I don't know how long just to get rid of the rubbish. It's going to take a really long time. Yeah. Everyone's gone into emergency survival mode. Like, let's get generators, let's get this, let's get that working, water, food, everything. But after about 2 or 3 days, it's starting to sink in now just how grossly inadequate our lives are going to be for the next few months.
Yeah, how big that job's going to be. And so what's your appeal now to the people in charge of the recovery effort in terms of the help you need? Like, would you love to have a few guys out there helping you water those plants over the next week or so until you get some kind of protection up to keep that investment that you've got protected?
I'd love about 10 guys. Just to help just get through this next 3 or 4 days. But everybody, I had 4 full-time staff and 4 part-time staff, but everybody's busy fixing up their own houses and their parents and their friends and just stuff like that. So I don't know, it's just going to take so long.
Yeah,
so much.
We've heard there are reports of the army getting into town and things like that. Have you seen much of an army presence, and would you love some of those personnel out to help you?
To tell the truth, Joe, I've gone since the day one when we just secured everything in town. I've been out here all day, every day. So I haven't even seen the town yet, really. I did one lap first thing in the morning. Yeah. And then I've just gone from home to the farm and home again.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, hopefully that message will get through to officials that you're like one person who needs help. There are no doubt many people who need help, but yeah, the immediate challenge for you is obviously keeping those plants alive. So hopefully maybe you'll even get some army help in the next couple of days. Richard, thanks so much for talking to us today, and yeah, good luck with your efforts to get back on your feet over the next couple of months.
No worries, Joe. Thanks for your well wishes. Have a lovely day.
Guy Acosta and partner Christina say they're facing an uncertain future with their home and tourism business hit.
We lost half a roof. At the peak of the cyclone, half the roof went flying across the paddock. We still haven't got a roof now. Sort of fairly cold, starting to get a bit cool, and stargazing from my bed, basically, as I can say.
This terrifying experience. I never experienced a cyclone before. Well, I was born in Indonesia. I'm used to it with the earthquake, but never experienced a cyclone. So yeah, this is the first time.
Looking at around town now, all the accommodation's gone. So we won't be able to get tourists into it. Most of the restaurants are gone. Yeah, our business, our personal business, like we do sightseeing tours around the area, but without tourists, we won't have an income or anything like that. So we're hoping that perhaps the Premier's coming, Scott Morrison's coming in on Friday apparently, and hopefully he's going to get something set up to help all the tourism people, all the hotels and accommodation and our surf as well. To we've just been through COVID, and last year we were lucky to earn any money, and it looks like this year we're going down the same pathway, which is very hard to keep going. We need all hands on deck. Financial assistance and as much help as we can get from the army, from whoever can lend a hand to get the town cleaned up. First, get some electricity back, because we haven't had no power for the last since Sunday night, sorry. And it looks like it might be another week or so before we get there. All the lamp poles around town, or most of them hit the ground. 100% of the power lines were on the ground. Never experienced anything. I've experienced cyclone up north before years ago, a lot stronger than that. But it's a different concept, because the towns up north are built for the cyclone. They are built for cyclone, but Kalbarri wasn't. And that's the result. The result is we lost 75% of the accommodation, and so it's going to make it very difficult.
The day after the cyclone, on Monday morning, actually is still red alert. But we just cannot help ourselves to check. The first thing what we do, we check our house, ourselves, our family, ourselves, and then we talk around to our neighbors, and we try to meet and get in touch with some elderlies, especially because lots of elderlies live alone in Kalbarri. We just make sure everyone that we know, people that we know, they are well and safe. And since then, it just naturally, the community here in Kalbarri is very strong. So we look after each other very, very well. So we don't worry we're going to starve, because everyone's sharing their food, everyone's sharing their love, and everyone's sharing their roof as well to anyone who need it.